Hi, everyone. I'm Augustana Athletic Director Josh Morton, and we are starting something new here called the Viking Video Chat. And Coach Kirby, I guess it's the Viking Fireside
I
Video
like
Chat.
it.
Yes, I'm pleased to be joined by our women's golf head coach for 17 years, Peggy Kirby. And Coach, I look forward to our conversation, but I guess I'm in the basement of my home in South Sioux Falls. You are in Sioux Falls as well.
I'm in my office in Sioux Falls looking out at Prairie Green actually right now, and it looks pretty nice out there.
Yeah, it has, we've been blessed the last week with some actual golf weather,
Yep.
um, which has been nice. Um, it was such a this has been such an odd month, which feels like 6 years, I know, to most of us. Um, and it was, the whole cancellation of the spring sports season really happened, gosh, about a week or two after we announced your retirement at the end of the year. So really, really difficult for you. You were also, Peggy, our last team, I believe, to actually compete in
Right.
2020 because you guys were at your tournament in California, right?
Right. Correct. Yep. We were
Um,
so happy to get those 2 rounds in.
yep. And I guess your first feeling once you knew that the spring sports were canceled, and it's hard enough to process it yourself, but you've also got a group of young women that you also need to explain it to. What was that? What were those moments like for you as a coach?
Oh, really, really hard. Corley was there with me, which was great. It was our spring event, and so the team comes there for spring break. So at the beginning of the week, I told them about my retirement, and there were a lot of tears and a lot of emotion over that. But we had to keep going, and then we had a great week of practice, and we knew we had to have our tournament. And but as we played, it was Thursday, we played, and we got rain delay, and now all the rumblings about what's going to happen and what's
Yeah.
going to happen. And Indianapolis coach heard a few things. I heard a few things, and we had a meeting that night, Thursday night, with our all of our coaches to say that spring season will is over. And but I was allowed to finish our tournament because it was a non-conference event.
Yep.
So we got to play the next day, but everyone was like, Coach, this can't be our last event. And I
Mm.
said, you guys, we have to embrace the idea that we got to be together all week. I'm so grateful for that
Yeah.
because that was great closure to something we didn't know really what was going to happen. So we at least I got to have 2 rounds with them before then we really realized. And Corley and I were just shocked because we tried to process it all Friday night, and then they left Saturday night afternoon and tried to scurry and hurry and get everything done. But I couldn't kind of stop crying, and we couldn't kind of believe it.
Yeah.
But I had to be strong for the athletes. And then it was fun, not fun, but it was great that we could talk to each one of them and go through it a little bit, and especially hard for the seniors.
Yep. Yeah. There's nothing worse. My heart sank when we got the official word. We voted as a conference, and it was the right thing to do. But when you think about the spring sports seniors, and yes, I'm thankful that Division II offered a very quick response to say they can come back. And as a university, we started working on it right away because we wanted them to come back. But we also know that at Augustana, our athletes are going to med school, dental school. They're going to postgraduate. They have great jobs lined up. They're very driven academically. That for many it wasn't the right thing. I'm glad that we do have a handful that are coming back, but my heart sank for seniors because you'll never get that back. But Peggy, you're like a senior too, so my heart sank for you too because your last year, 17 years, um, 10 NSIC conference championships, 7 national top 10 finishes, 6 region championships. What a career, Peggy! Without having you think back on 17 years, and I know your dog wants to get involved too.
Sorry, I
Uh,
didn't know they were up here.
but just and that makes it tougher. That's hard when you're sitting in California and not only consoling your seniors, but for you as well.
It really took a while. But the thing that made me sad, I get well for the seniors, but we played so well this fall, and we had won the preview
Yes.
against really good teams. So we were going to go to that national championship. So just reeling that, as hard as we worked in the fall and as hard as we were going to work this spring to get there, I always tell the team I'm very competitive and they know that. And so part of that was like, well, but we're supposed to be going. So I have to, keep, wrap my arms around all of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Well,
hard.
and for those who may not know, but you are also one of the most competitive people, not only on our staff, but that I know. So I know you were looking forward to the competition as well. I also one of the interesting things that's happened for our department since March 3rd. We've had daily video check-ins with each other, and I don't know. For me, it's part therapy because it's just nice to see everybody or to see people and to have different people share ideas about what they're doing. Some days it's 15 minutes, some days it's 45 minutes, and we have some things to talk about. But it's been to see everybody all together at least once a day has been therapeutic in some ways.
Oh, it's been very good. I love it. And, I love Barkus at the beginning of the call. He's always got something funny to share. And I love hearing what other coaches are doing. Every program's so different. Ours, of course, is
Yeah.
completely different. We don't have the numbers, but I've learned all kinds of things that then I can do to try to help the student athlete. And I've really appreciated them. I think it's great information. And yeah, I've enjoyed it.
And you while you're retiring later, but we're so appreciative too. You and Cora Lee and Patty have done such a good job of keeping up with your team and making sure that everyone stays connected. What specifically what have you done with your team since middle once they got back?
Well, I love to email. They'll tell you all kinds of funny ways that I email, and I do bold print, and I try to get their attention. We text. I text them regularly. We have a Zoom call on Thursday nights. Anne Marie Fisher, our senior, sets that up for us. We're trying to always touch base with them. And texting has been good because they will reply to that. But they all seem to be doing much better now than they were when
Yeah.
they went home. They got home from spring break and boom, had to go home. And how do I get all my stuff? And each week gets better. And I think it was Billiter that said, these student athletes are resilient. They're hardworking, determined young women, and so they're not going to let this get them down.
Yeah, no, I think one of the things that I've been really impressed with is the resiliency of our students because it's not only on the athletic side, which they're very driven, but the academic side, adjusting to distance learning, you know, is not easy. And I know I'm guessing you coaches heard it firsthand. The first week is one thing, the second week, and now we're on week 3. I think they're settled in a little bit, and they have started to figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's getting much better. And, now that midterms are out and they know that they're doing okay and they're on task and kind of going about it correctly. But so I think
Yeah.
they're doing better.
So one of the things that when you and I talked, it was probably the night where it was official that the season was over. Something that has stuck with me, and I actually shared it with our athletic staff, either in an email or on the video chat one night. Um, was your walk up the 18th fairway with one of your seniors, and so take me through that if you can kind of relive our conversation and relive that day you had in Palm Desert.
It was so difficult because I have 4 seniors and it was a shotgun start. So Corley had some of them, I had some of them. We're trying to get all over the golf course. But I did walk up 18 with Hannah Hankinson, who's had a very great career at
Yep.
Augie, as has Sydney and Michaela and Anne Marie. But I was walking with Hannah because I knew she was having a hard time. And there was another senior from Indianapolis. She was having a very difficult time. Both of them could hardly hit their second shots. It was a par 5. So I'm right there. And she said, Coach, are you going to stay here with me to walk up? I go, absolutely. I'm not going anywhere. And now I'm getting teary eyed because I know it's so hard for her because she's ready to keep playing and get to that national
Yes.
championship. It's always our goal. And it was so difficult. Her parents were there and Peter and Heather have been there for, I'd say 95% of her tournaments, and some of their family friends were there. And so it was really, really hard. And it was a gorgeous day. And I was just looking around. And then here come the other seniors. Here comes Michaela and Amory and Sydney because they had played on different holes. But I got to be there for Hannah's last putt. And she was crying. I was crying. And then got to go hug all the other seniors and thank them. But she just was so full of gratitude. as she was kind of crying going up to her before her putt. And she
Yeah.
said, Coach, I'm so grateful for everything you've done, for everything Augustana's done for me. She just was in between her
Oh,
tears. She just was full of gratitude. So
yep.
it was difficult.
No, I love it, and it reminds me, Peggy, of one of my favorite pictures that I've taken is down in Houston. So I had been on the job for 3 weeks, right? And I come
Right.
to see you guys compete at the Nationals down in Houston, and you had high hopes for that team, and they just didn't have a good week, right? So it comes
Right.
out to the last round, which is on a Saturday. And Callie Troutman, one of your seniors, we had a great senior class that year, but Callie was one of your great seniors. And I snapped a picture of you two under an umbrella, and you had your arm around each other. And I just thought, to me, like, that's leadership, and that's what coaching and student athlete relationship is all about. She's about to tee off in her last round. The week didn't go that great, as great as her career was, but you had an opportunity to share a great moment, and I use that picture a lot when I present, because to me it symbolizes what we do, right, and why we do what
Right.
we do.
Right.
Um, so I know you had many moments of those during your 17 years.
I did. I mean, we had so many good athletes, but I have to go back to when you were going through all those coach of the year and all those things, which is very great. And you can look at all, but it all happens because of our strong team of Coralie, of Patty, of Kari. I can't forget Kevin and Randy Durham, our bus driver.
Yep.
And, it takes so many people to make this team work. It's different than other teams, and all the support from the parents and all my family and my friends, because as you know, I do a lot of fundraising for this program. So the more you fundraising, the farther we can go. We can go to Texas, we can go to North Carolina, we can go to Monterey, we can go to Pebble Beach, because of the support from all of our friends and parents have been so wonderful to these student athletes and to me, to keep building that success and getting us bigger on the map. We would never have been able to do those kinds of trips. We would never have been to 9 national championships. So I'm very grateful for all of those people. So I'm just maybe the one that's up there that gets to make the final whatever, but I do it as collectively with Coralie, Patty. Kari was great when she was working at Augie, one of my past students.
Yeah.
So it takes a whole village,
Yep.
to make this team work.
Well, and what gives me solace is number one, that Coralie has agreed to come in and serve as the head coach on an interim basis for a year. But also, I know that you and Patty are both going to stay connected to the program. And you've built something so special here that I know you're not just going to ride off into the sunset too fast.
Well, and that's what we tried to tell the girls when they were out on spring break, and a
Yeah.
few of them were just broke down. And I said, girls, the program's going to continue to be awesome. We'll continue to thrive. We'll continue to be successful, because yes, exactly. I'd worked this hard for 17, 18 years. I want it to continue to be a national caliber team and to continue the success that we've had. So I assured them of that and did talk to the 3 new recruits coming in, and they were, of course, very upset. But I said, but the program's going to keep going because of you all coming in. I need you. And so continue that as long as, Augustana, as long as the culture there at Augustana stays the same.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I'm pleased that I can still call you the head women's golf coach, because it was through the end of the season, and that date is more in my mind. It's later. So, thanks for taking a few minutes. We'll catch up with you again soon. But congratulations on a 17-year unbelievable career.
Thank you. And Josh, I appreciate all that you've been doing too to keep us all together as coaches. I mean, you're doing an unbelievable job in a very difficult time.
Well, we're trying, and like I said, it's part therapy for me when I get to see all your faces. So, thanks, Peggy.
Thanks, Josh. Have a good day.